Imagine waking up on a morning when the temperature is 40 degrees below zero. There's no heater. There's no thermal insulation on the walls. There's no electricity. There's none of what you consider basic for surviving the cold. And yet, you have to survive. Not for a day, not for a week, but for months, years, entire generations. Welcome to the Ice Age, where our ancestors didn't just survive, they mastered the most brutal cold humanity has ever faced. Have you ever stopped to think how they did it? How human beings, with no modern technology, managed to sleep peacefully while outside the wind cut like blades and the cold could kill in minutes? The answer will surprise you. Because what they created was so ingenious, so well thought out, that we still use the same principles in our homes today. We just forgot where it came from. Let's go back in time. We're about 20,000 years ago. The world is completely different. Massive glaciers cover much of Europe and Asia. Mammoths walk across vast frozen plains. And in the middle of all this, small groups of humans try to survive. They have no supermarkets, no synthetic clothing, nothing but their own intelligence and creativity. The first thing you need to understand is that Ice Age cold wasn't like that mild winter chill. We're talking about temperatures that easily reached minus 30, minus 40 degrees Celsius. Temperatures where you could get hypothermia in under 30 minutes if unprotected. Temperatures where your breath froze in the air and formed ice crystals on your beard. So how did they solve it? The answer lies underground. Literally. They used what was abundant. Mammoth bones. Those giant animals provided everything. Meat to eat, hides to cover themselves, fat to burn as fuel. And when they died, their bones became the framework for entire houses. Imagine a house built with mammoth skulls, jawbones, ribs, and femurs. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but it was genius. The bones were heavy and sturdy. They formed a solid structure that could bear the weight of accumulated winter snow. And even better, they were curved. That natural curvature created a dome shape, one of the strongest structures that exist. But bones alone weren't enough. You need insulation. They covered the entire bone structure with animal hides. Not one layer, not two, several layers. And between these layers, earth, moss, dry grass, anything that could trap air and create pockets of thermal insulation. Now comes the most impressive part, fire. You might think it's obvious to have a fire inside the house to stay warm, but it's not that simple. Fire produces smoke. Smoke kills if you keep breathing it in an enclosed space. So how do you solve that problem? Ventilation. They created ventilation systems. I'm not talking about a random hole in the roof. I'm talking about strategically placed openings that let smoke out while fresh air came in. And even more important, these openings were adjustable. When the wind was too strong, they partially covered them. When they needed more air circulation, they opened them wider. It was a manual climate control system. And there's more. The fire wasn't placed right in the center of the house. It was slightly off-center. Why? Because that created air currents that distributed heat more evenly. Warm air